Good morning, students. Today we study about the plane electromagnetic waves in conducting medium. Plane electromagnetic waves in conducting medium. We know that the Maxwell equations are divergence of D is equals to rho, divergence of B is equals to 0, curl E is equals to minus del E by del T, and curl H is equals to J plus del D by del T. Now, if we assume that medium is linear and isotropic and is characterized by permittivity epsilon, permittivity epsilon, and permeability mu, and conductivity sigma, but not any charge or any current other than that determined by the Ohm's law. In this condition, the D is equals to epsilon into E, B is equals to mu into H, and J is equals to sigma into E, and rho is equals to 0. Now, the Maxwell equations takes the form divergence E is equals to 0, divergence H is equal to 0, curl E is equals to minus mu into del H by del T, and curl H is equals to sigma E plus epsilon into del E by del T. These are the four equations, and now if we take the curl of the equation twice C, then we get curl E is equals to minus mu into del by del T curl H. Now if we put the value of curl H from the equation second D, then we get curl E is equals to minus mu into del by del T sigma E plus epsilon del E by del T. But we know that curl A is equals to grade divergence A minus del 2A, and grade divergence E minus del 2E is equals to minus mu sigma del E by del T minus mu epsilon del 2E by del T2, and from the equation 2A divergence E is equals to 0, so we get del 2E minus mu sigma del E by del T minus mu epsilon del 2E by del T2 is equals to 0. This is third equation. And similarly, we can find such type of equation for H, and del 2H minus mu sigma del H by del T minus mu epsilon del 2H by del T2 is equals to 0. Both the equations are similar. These equations represent wave equations governing electromagnetic fields E and H in a homogeneous isotropic conducting medium of conductivity sigma. These equations represents wave equations governing electromagnetic fields E and H in a homogeneous isotropic conducting medium of conductivity sigma. And above vector equations are of identical form. Both the equations are identical form. Both the equations are of identical form. Above vector equations are of identical form, which means that each of 6 components of E and H, 3 of E and 3 of H, 6 components of E and H separately satisfy the same scalar wave equation of the form del 2 psi minus mu sigma del psi by del T minus mu epsilon del 2 psi by del T2 is equals to 0. And here psi is a scalar and can stand for any one of the component of E and H. Now if for simplicity let us assume that the fields vary in only one spatial variable x alpha, fields vary in only one spatial variable x alpha, Therefore, decomposing the fields into longitudinal and transverse parts. If we divide the electric field into two components, two parts, first is longitudinal and second is transverse, then we can write the electric and H vector as E x alpha t is equals to E L x alpha t plus E t x alpha t. L stands for longitudinal and T stand for transverse. Similarly, H x alpha t is equals to H L x alpha t plus H t x alpha t. Now, because of the properties of curl operation, we find that transverse part of E and H satisfy the two curl equations leading to transverse wave, while longitudinal parts satisfy the equations from the first equation 2a. From the equation 2a we get del EL by del x alpha is equals to 0. From the equation second b we get L del HL by del x alpha is equals to 0. And from the equation 2c we get del by del t plus sigma upon epsilon into EL is equals to 0. Similarly, from the equation 2d we get del by del t HL is equals to 0. These are the four equations. Now, equations 7b and 7d shows that only longitudinal magnetic field is possible in a static uniform field. Only longitudinal magnetic field is possible in a static uniform field, but equations 7a and 7c shows that the longitudinal electric field is uniform in space while possess the time variation given by possesses the time variation given by del t plus sigma upon epsilon into EL is equals to 0. On solving the equation we get EL alpha t is equals to E naught e power minus sigma upon epsilon into t. EL alpha t is equals to E naught e power minus sigma upon epsilon into t, and here log E naught is a constant of integration. Consequently, no static electric fields can exist in a conducting medium in the absence of an applied current density. Consequently, no static electric fields can exist in a conducting medium in the absence of an applied current density. Now, we shall consider the transverse field in the conducting medium. Let us assume that the fields vary as e power iota k dot r minus iota omega t. Then solutions of equations 3, 4 and 5 may be expressed as E is equals to E naught e power iota k dot r minus iota omega t, H is equals to H naught e power iota k dot r minus iota omega t, psi is equals to psi naught e power iota k dot r minus iota omega t. On putting the values of psi from equation 11 in equation 5 we get minus k square plus iota mu sigma omega plus mu epsilon omega square into psi, and we get finally k square is equals to mu epsilon omega square into 1 plus iota sigma divided by omega epsilon. Now, if we assume that sigma is real, in that condition k is equals to alpha plus iota beta, and if we square the k then we get k square is equal to alpha square minus beta square plus twice iota alpha beta. And if we compare the equations 12 and 13, this is the equation 12 and equation number 13, then we get alpha square minus beta square is equals to mu epsilon omega square and twice alpha beta is equals to mu omega sigma. And now if we find the values of alpha and beta on solving the equation, then we get alpha is equals to under root mu epsilon into omega into under root 1 plus under root 1 plus sigma upon omega epsilon square divided by 2. Similarly, beta is equals to under root mu epsilon into omega under root 1 plus sigma divided by omega epsilon whole square minus 1 divided by 2. These are the values of alpha and beta. Now in terms of alpha beta, field vectors E and H takes the form. On putting the value of k in terms of alpha and beta, then we get E is equals to E naught e power iota alpha plus iota beta n cap dot r minus iota omega t, and this will be equal to E naught e power minus beta n cap dot r into e power iota alpha n cap dot r minus omega t. Similarly, we get H is equals to H naught e power minus beta n cap dot r into e power iota alpha n cap dot r minus omega t. And it is clear from the equations, that equations 16 and 17, that field amplitudes are spatially attenuated due to the presence of term e power minus beta n cap dot r. This is the term which is present in the expression field amplitudes are spatially attenuated due to presence of term e power minus beta n cap dot r. It is clear from the equations 16 and 17 that field amplitudes are spatially attenuated due to the presence of the term e power minus beta n cap dot r, and the quantity beta is a measure of attenuation and is known as absorption coefficient. And if we find the speed, then v is equals to omega by k, and this will be equal to omega by alpha, and we get finally v is equals to 1 upon under root mu epsilon and under root 1 plus sigma upon omega epsilon square plus 1 divided by 2 whole power minus 1 by 2. This is the expression for speed.